All right, this is a review of the end of the Chapter 1 test. For those of you that are interested in finding out what you did wrong and how to do these problems correctly so you can possibly do the retake if you want, earn some more points. Okay, first off, you get 2 points for a correct heading. If you know your name, you can spell it correctly with capitals, the date, and the period. You also want to write your teacher's name as part of your heading for all your papers, not just my class, all your classes. Get in that habit. All right, so here we go. First question, a polyhedron P is a cube with a corner removed and relocated to the top of P. Polyhedron Q is the same cube, but that one little block, that unit, is intact. So your questions right now are, how do the surface areas compare? Okay, well, basically, if you think of this original, okay, this, and this would be right here. So those parts are the same, right? However, on P, you also get this, and this exposed, and the back two sides of these exposed. So you would end up with 5 extra square units on P that you don't have on Q. Okay, so what's the answer? P's surface area is greater than, right? So it's not less than, it's not equal to, it is greater than. Boom, you're done. That's it for the first page. Go on to that second page now. What we got here? Basically, I gave you 2 points for each A, B, C, and D, and a point for showing your work. So you're supposed to select all the nets that can fold into that shape, that little tent shape, right? What do we call that? Triangular prism. Okay. Looks like here, if this was the bottom or the base and that folded up, that could be the front of the tent, that could be the back, that could be one side, that could be the other side. So A looks like it works. B, if you fold up these 4 triangles, they're going to come up to a point. All of these angles will come up to a point and be a vertex. So that will be a rectangular pyramid. So that won't work. All right? And this one here, you fold up this square, and this square from this triangle, and it's got nowhere to go. It's going to be like a triangular prism without that top face, right? Or without a front of your tent. You get cold, you sleep in that one, right? So that one's not going to work either. And you can tell also 1, 2, 3, 4 faces, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 faces, right? So that's not going to work. This one looks like it will work. If that is the base, that can fold up and be the back of the tent. This can be the left side of the tent. This can be the right side of the tent, and this will fold around and be the front. So we're going to say A and D work, B and C don't. Okay, flip it over, next page. Cube has a side length of 8 inches. Again, this is a cube. Okay, you're trying to get the volume. Right? So this is 8, this is 8, and this is 8. That means that top is going to be 8 times 8, 64 little cubes just to make that top layer. And how many layers of 64 are there? There's 8 layers. So it ends up being, I got that 64 doing 8 times 8. Right? Area of the top times how tall it is. And I'm going to multiply that by 8 again. So what is that? That's not just 8 to the second power. That's 8 to the third power. 8 times 8 times 8. That's why to the third power is called cubed. Okay? 6 times 8 times 8. That's not going to work. That looks like it would be a good wrong answer, because that would get you the surface area, the total surface area, right? Because there's 6 faces of 64. 6 times 8 is not going to work. 8 times 8 times 8 is the same as 8 to the third power. So these are the 2 that work. Okay? All right, a square has a side length of 9. What is the area? Or you could draw a picture. Sometimes it just makes more sense. right? I had one kid had the answer, well, you only told me one of the sides. What's the other side? Well, it's a square. If you draw the picture, you probably would have seen that. So the area, again, 9 times 9, 81 square centimeters. Now this one, it says the area is 9 square centimeters. What's the side length? So you're saying what times what is 9? A lot of people got confused on this. Right? There's your 9 squares. It's 3 centimeters wide, 3 centimeters tall. That's something that we're going to learn later called a square root, where you're saying what number squared, or to the second power, equals 9. So that's square units. We're just finding the length. It's going to be 3 centimeters. Okay, each expression here, okay, which one has the greater value? Okay, well, you could just do the math on this. 13 to the second power is 13 times 13. That's 169. 15 times 15, 225. And again, you go over here and do this if you don't know it. Right, most of you probably don't, right? 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 1 is 5, plus 2 more is 7. Put a placeholder because that 1 is really 10. Now go 1 times 5, 1 times 1, 12. 225. 225 is bigger, so 15 to the second power wins on that one. How about this one? Well, think about what this is. You don't even have to multiply this out if you don't want. This is 7 times 6 times 6. And this is 6 times 6 times 6. Well, this part's the same. This is 7 times this. This is 6 times this. Looks like 7 is going to win, huh? Okay? You don't have to do that. Remember the trick with tens. 10 times 10 is 100, times 10 is 1,000. It's a 1 with that many zeros. 10 to the 6th power is a 1 with 6 zeros. 10 to the 9th power is a 1 with 9 zeros. But this is 30 to the 2nd power. It's not 60, it's 30 times 30, which is like 3 times 3. It'd be 900. Which one wins? Well, what do you want, $1,000 or $900, right? 10 to the 3rd power wins on that one. All right. We're already on the 4th page. Okay, this one says you have a rectangular prism with the dimensions of 2 by 2 by 5. What is the surface area? Explain and show your reasoning. Well, surface area is the area of all of the faces, right? So the front face, I can see 2 by 5 or 10 squares. Well, guess what? The back is going to be the same. And some people don't want to write all this out. Okay? The top is 2 by 5 also. That's going to be 10. And guess what? The bottom will be the same. And if you don't want to write it out, I say get over it, right? This is a test. This is 2 times 2, or 4, and the left side will be the same. And really, how long did this take me to write all this out, right? I got 40 and 4 and 4, right? So is 8, so that looks like 48 square, and these are centimeters, right? And if you showed all your work, this kind of explains it by saying that, by naming those, the front and the back, right? The top, the bottom, right, and left. Boom. All right, here's a net made of right triangles and rectangles. All measurements are given in centimeters. Okay. If the net were folded and assembled, what kind of polyhedron would it make? That's the first question. Well, if that was the bottom, I want to say this be the bottom. This could fold up, right? And this would fold up and be, this looks like it's going to be a skateboard ramp. This will be the back of the ramp. That'll be the ramp part. This will be the base. That'll be this triangle. And this will fold over and be the other triangle opposite that. So that's called a triangular prism. Remember, if you have the same shape on the top and bottom connected by rectangles, it's a prism. Okay? And what is the surface area? Okay, again, when I do those, just again, I would just call one the bottom, all right, and start folding, all right, and see what would this be? That would be the ramp. That would be the back. Okay, surface area. I have to get the area of each face. 4 times 6 for this rectangle. that's 24. 5 times 6 for this rectangle, that's 30. 3 times 6 for this rectangle, that's 18. Now these triangles, remember the base and the height are the two lines that make the right angle. In this case it's a 3 and a 4, in this case it's a 3 and a 4. And they should be the same triangle, right? Because they're going to be opposite sides, opposite faces of a prism. So again, to get the area of a triangle, it is 1/2 times the base times the height. So I'm going 1/2 of 3 times 4. 3 times 4 is 12, and half of 12 is 6. So this is 6, and this is 6. Right, you want to call that the base, guess what happens? 1/2 of 4 times 3, half of 4 is 2. What's 2 times 3? It's also 6. Now all of these are square centimeters, but I'm going to go ahead and add them all up. I got a 6, 24, 30, 18, and another 6. 6 and 4 is 10, plus 8 is 18, plus 6 is 24. 2 and 2 is 4, plus 3 is 7, plus 1, 8. So this is 84 square centimeters. Okay? And if you show me all of this, I might let you get away with that, but got the area of all 5 faces. Then I added. Okay, so that's all your work, and that's all you had to do. Hopefully you did well on this, but hopefully if you didn't, this kind of makes sense for you, and it'll help you doing the retake if that's what you want to do. Okay.